Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's SSN Santa here, and today we're going to take a look at 3 easy steps for you to follow if you want to become a better Fortnite mobile player, whether you're trying to shape yourself into a better builder, whether you're trying to make yourself better at hitting your shots, using game mechanics to your advantage in order to win games, go for high kill games, go for the low kill games, trying to trap people, all this crazy stuff you're going to be able to learn in literally 3 steps. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. So the first step in order to become a better Fortnite mobile player, guys, is obviously going to be to customize your HUD. Now, a lot of people don't even know how to do this on mobile, because when I'm streaming, they're always like, how did you get your hotbar up there? How did you get your guns over there? How did you get your aim button up there? So I'm going to show you right here how you can do that. So what you want to do is go to your home screen, you know, your lobby screen, you're standing on there, and look up to the top right. You're going to see your V-Bucks and your friends and all that good stuff. So press the 3 bars, and then you're going to see an option. It's all the way at the bottom underneath the controls help that's green, and it's called HUD Layout Tool. So when you press that, it's going to bring you into combat mode. So basically what combat mode is it has everything that, let's say you're not building at all and you have your guns out in the normal game. This is all the buttons that are going to show up on your screen. I'm going to tell you about the buttons that I personally use and the ones that you shouldn't use, that are useless, and all this other stuff, just to give you guys some tips. So the way I set up my combat mode personally is for my aiming and shooting button. We'll focus on that first. So it takes a little bit of history going back. I've been playing mobile games for 5 years, and I did play with 2 fingers like when I was a noob. But then 3 years ago, I decided to make the change and go to a claw HUD because I saw somebody made a YouTube video about it, and I was like, this is actually kind of cool. I'll definitely give it a try. And I became 100 times better within a month playing with that claw HUD, and I've been basically using the same one ever since, from Modern Warfare 5, Bullet Force, Critical Ops, all the way to Fortnite Mobile. And so let's focus on aiming and shooting first. So as you can see, I have my shooting button on the top left and my aim button on the top right here. So I'm actually going to be going through. So my shoot button's right here and my aim button's right here. Basically, the reason why I put those in the top right and left, you might think it's kind of weird, but back in 2012, I used to play console. I used to, you know, grind Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, and I was really used to the controller feel. Obviously, it was the opposite way. You'd shoot with your right finger and aim with your left finger, but for some reason in mobile games, I always shot with my left and aimed with my right finger. And then you can see I have a series of numbers here. That's usually where the hotbar would come in handy, and I'd have that there. But because the turbo glitch is around right now, I have the 0 through 5. If you scroll up, there are a lot of extra buttons I don't use. This one right here, I wouldn't really recommend. It's just swapping between your hotbar. I mean, if you're using 4 fingers, you really don't even need it, because your index finger can pick whatever box you want to use. So I wouldn't even recommend this unless you don't even have the hotbar on screen and you're just really used to opening your backpack, switching around your guns, and then getting some muscle memory in order to switch between them. I wouldn't use that. Right here is the auto run button. I wouldn't even recommend that as well, because if you guys didn't already know, your joystick here, if you were to double tap, actually automatically runs for you, and you're rarely going to even need to do that. I only do it if I have an itch or something like that, or I'm running straight and I need to read a comment while I'm streaming. It's really not really useful to have an auto run, and it might actually screw you over in the long run. Right here I have my backpack button. Now the reason why I put it there is because when I first played the game, as you guys know, they didn't even have a custom HUD yet, so I was very used to my thumbs switching with my backpack here, and my other one switching between inventory and guns. So I just kind of kept those in the same spot, which is pretty nice. As you can see, my thumbs really don't do anything other than that, and basically as this claw HUD works is my thumbs will move around the screen. This one uses the joystick and I look with the other one, and that's all you want to do with focusing with your thumbs. They want to be able to just focus on movement, and then your index fingers are a lot more important because you're aiming and shooting. Right here I have my jump button and I have my crouch button for that index finger, and I'm just really used to that placement. If you want, you could put your jump button where your thumb is right here, so you're looking around, you press it to jump. I used to do that with like other games, but for some reason for Fortnite Mobile, I really just like jumping with my index finger with the right finger and also crouching. So I really would recommend that. And like I said, I put my hotbar kind of like in between this area because I switch, and then all I have to do is kind of reach my index finger down to the left a little bit to aim, and then a little bit to the right to jump, and I'm just really used to it. I also have my reload button here, or actually it's not really the reload button, but it kind of shows how much ammo you have, and I just kind of like that position. But I mean, if you also tap that, I believe it does reload your gun. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that. I've been playing the game for like days worth of time, but I still don't really know. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so that's basically it for combat mode. If you press this black arrow here, I just want to show you some other features you can do with the buttons. You can actually fix the size of them. So if I want to make this as big as possible, I could do that. And then you also have display scale. So let's say you didn't want it to, like, you know, show up on your entire screen there, but let's say it was like this big and you didn't want to miss it. Like, let's say you had it this small and you're like, oh, I'm going to definitely miss that, you can just up the size and then lower it, so that way it doesn't take up as much space and you can easily hit it and you have all that space. There's also the build mode. So in build mode, guys, it's basically the same thing. I have my shoot button up there. The aim button goes away completely, but my jump button's still there. You can't crouch, but I do put the edit button where my crouch button is because I'm really used to that's kind of like a dead space that would have my crouch button, but I put my edit button there. I also have this is the rotate ramp button, and then this one is the reset edit button. So when I do an edit right here, I do an edit with my right thumb in the middle of the screen. And then what I do is you re-edit what you just edited, and you press this arrow, and this arrow goes away while this arrow is still there. So that's why they're overlapping. You might be like, oh, why are you doing that? But basically when you're not editing, this one's here, and then when you're editing, this one's here. So it allows me to reset my edits. I also have my materials here, so I can kind of switch between which ones you want to use. And then basically everything else is the same. So that is how I would recommend setting up your HUD. There's also another feature in here, which is your fire mode. And which one should you use? Should you use auto fire, tap to fire, or dedicated fire button? And I can tell you right away that dedicated fire button is the best one to choose. As you can see for me, like I put it in the top left, and whenever I press that, I know I'm going to shoot. If you were to use auto fire, the weapon fires automatically when you aim at the enemy, and it is kind of a little newbie. It's not really going to make you a better player if you think about it in the end, because you're not going to learn the mechanic of actually shooting, like physically with your fingers and stuff. So it's one thing that you're just not doing, and you never know, you might be running across the field, accidentally see somebody you don't want to shoot, and it shoots for you. So that's all up to you guys if you want to use auto fire. If you're not taking Fortnite Mobile seriously, I would recommend, I guess you could use it. Let's say you're a console player, PC player, just trying to have fun, you're on a phone, you can't really use all touch controls, go right ahead, use auto fire. But if you want to take Fortnite Mobile seriously and actually get better, which I know that's what you guys are here for, I would not recommend auto fire. Now the next one, which is kind of between dedicated and tap, is tap to fire, like I said. So firing by tapping anywhere on the screen. And the reason why I don't recommend this is because there's a lot of things that you do in the game where you're interacting with weapons to pick up, you're interacting with chests. So let's say you have an RPG out and you're trying to open a chest, you might accidentally tap the screen and it actually shoots that, or you might just be running across the field, like I said, and accidentally shoot when you're trying to pick up a gun or throw a grenade in a 1x1, and then you're going to kill yourself with a grenade. There's just so many things that can go wrong with tap to fire, and it just gives up your position in the end. So that is why I use the dedicated fire button, because when I'm picking up guns, you're not going to shoot. When you look at an enemy, you're not going to shoot, but when you tap that button with your left index finger or whatever finger you decide to use for your fire button, you're never going to not shoot. It's literally going to shoot every single time, 100%. So that's why I would select that as your fire method, and that's going to be it for the HUD. Let's move on to the next step. So for step number 2, guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is all based on personal preference, and I hope you guys do enjoy and you see the science behind this, because it's actually pretty cool. It's gonna be what shapes you into the player that you are. And what it is basically watching other players that you find, appealing, whether it's the way they play and, their style, or their personality for streaming and stuff like that. So as you can already tell, I'm a huge NickA30 fan. I just love the way he plays. He's a great player. He edits like insane. His plays are crazy. People are like, they get caught off guard by his edits, and I'm trying to learn from him more and more doing that. And I'm trying to kind of incorporate that into Fortnite Mobile, and you can learn a lot just by literally watching a stream or two. There's also Ninja, there's Tim the Tapman, Dr. Lupo, Dr. Disrespect, you have Myth, Daquan, Hamlins. There's so many insane players, guys. There's even clips on Instagram. If you go on Instagram and stuff, there's like, you can literally just look up Fortnite, and then it'll be like crazy clips of people that are like your age, like 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, going crazy clips. And yeah, so basically watching other people who are better than you, or that you really like their style, can make you a better player if you guys actually believe in that. Because when I'm watching NickA30, for example, I love his personality. I'm really into his gameplay. I watch him use bounce pads and grappling guns and all these crazy things in ways that I never thought I could. He plays the low ground in specific ways, the high ground, and that's why I was saying that you guys can learn so much from this video, from this step, because the second step, it's insane, dude. Like Ninja, he goes for impulse plays all the time. You can learn from that. You can learn how to clutch a certain situation that somebody else has already done. Like, it's insane, guys. So you can even watch my streams. I'm not like huge with like getting plays and stuff, but I'm sure you guys can learn from how I play, or Ducky plays, or how all these other people play. Like you could even watch your cousin or your friend and see how they play, and different situations they get in and how they deal with it, and it's gonna make you a better player, obviously. So that's step number 2. Super easy, guys. Super self-explanatory. Just watching other people play the game and just see what they do, because you might be in a situation where you have like a pump and then somebody else has an SMG, and you're like, okay, what would I do here? I'm gonna just walk in and try to pump him. But then there might be somebody else that's like, I'm gonna build up, I'm gonna trap him, I'm gonna edit through the floor. Like, it's insane, dude. So you gotta just watch other people play. You can't just play play by yourself and get better. You got to literally see how other people take certain situations, and I can't even explain it anymore. So that's step number 2. Let's move on to step number 3. So for the final step, guys, it's just going to be practice. This is literally the most self-explanatory thing as well. Obviously, you can't just learn it in a day, dude. Like, claw HUD is going to take you a while, dude. For me, it took like a week and a month to like master, and then ever since then I've been learning more and more about it. I'm still not even perfecting it at this moment, even though I've been doing it for 3 years. It's insane to think, but I'm still not a professional with claw HUDs. There's so many different things you can do. I could switch over to 5 fingers, I could switch to 6 fingers, but I'm stuck on 4. So I'm kind of a newbie claw HUD, but there's literally people out there that go with 6 fingers and stuff like that. But like I said, guys, it's going to be frustrating. Your fingers are going to feel really slow. Your index fingers aren't going to feel compatible. You're not going to be able to aim and shoot in certain situations. You're going to be like, it's costing me the win. I'm just going to switch over to the 2-finger claw that I was doing before. But in the end, just literally practicing, and you're going to get a lot better, and you're going to learn how to use it. Watching my stream, watching other people who use claw HUDs. You can look up gameplays that has nothing to do with Fortnite and tips on how to set up a claw HUD, because there's all these other games that literally are the same kind of thing. They have aim buttons, shoot buttons, inventory slots, reload buttons, jump buttons, crouch buttons, and you can see how other people set up their claw and incorporate that into Fortnite Mobile. But overall, you know, you're going to become a better player over time, learning your HUD, watching other people that play, that are streamers, your friends, your cousins, your baby cousins, your mom, your dad. You're going to learn different techniques, and you're going to learn different mechanics that you can use in the game that you never would have thought of before, with grappling guns, bounce pads, RPGs, explosives, scars, snipes, like the heavy snipers, for example. Look up clips, just like watch people do insane things, and it's going to make you a better player. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did actually learn something in this video, don't forget to smack a like. I had a lot of fun making this, and I know it's been a while since I made a tips and tricks, so I was super excited to get this one going. But without further ado, that's going to have to end the video, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any more further questions for me, leave those down in the comments below. I will try to get to you as much as possible. I read as many as I can, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.